Second time is a charm, I guess. I decided I need a guide for videos that I'm sitting down because I start talking non-stop and I don't know where I'm going. I don't finish anything that I'm talking about, so I'm filming this video all over again. I hope this one goes better than the other one and I don't have to edit things all over again because it was not fun. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, which is probably most of you.
Who are you?
I'm Maddie. I'm Brazilian, but I live in New York now for around 2.5 years. I've been sharing a little bit of my life here with all of you. I know I've been a little MIA for the last couple of weeks and I'm sorry about that. I've been struggling a little bit with like ideas of what to record and also trying to maintain a normal life because this is not like a job for me. It's more of like a hobby, but today I wanted to share a few of like stories and the reason of why I got depressed here in New York. I feel like this is something that happened to a lot of people coming here, especially if you are an immigrant or someone that is not from the US. But it happens to a lot of people from the US too. New York is not an easy city to deal with. It's not a regular city whatsoever. So I wanted to share my experience and how I kind of came out of it. If you want to hear it, if you are kind of like going through it right now, it might be like helpful to maybe hear someone's story about this. So yeah, if you want to hear it, just keep on watching.
This is hard.
I remember dreaming about coming here so much when I was in Brazil. You idealize the city so much. It's in most movies and TV shows, so you think it's just perfect and amazing and you're gonna be like going out all the time and going to these different things. It's just like you idealize New York so much and you don't understand the crazy things you're gonna be going through in the city because it's just insane. The city is just so fast-paced, and for me especially, and I think people that come from the outside and don't know anyone here, with the amount of people that you have here and that you meet, I don't think I've ever felt more lonely. I don't think I've experienced more loneliness in my life than here. And speaking to other people, I feel like that's a general experience. Everyone is so focused on achieving their dreams and hopes, and I mean, it's everyone come here for their dreams. So sometimes you're like not focused on really getting to know anyone and you end up feeling lonely a lot of the times, and that happened to me and it happens to a lot of people. But let's focus on my story here. I mean, it's my channel. So coming from Brazil, I had a lot of like idealized ideas of New York. I thought I was gonna come here and have my dreams happen in the first year, and it was nothing like that. I didn't have any friends or family here. I had a place to stay for like a month, but then I quickly had to find somewhere else to stay in the city. And my first apartment was a place that I remember was a 4 flights of stairs. Like, it was a very small place, not very good apartment. The area that I lived in, it was like on the Upper West Side. It was really good. Like, I loved the area, but the apartment was not good. It was one of those apartments where it was like a very long apartment and the rooms were like one following the other, so you could really hear everything.
That's horrible.
I had like 2 roommates, and I feel like the stairs and not having an elevator was literally the worst. I vividly remember one of the worst things was like not having anyone to help me with anything, because back in Brazil, like, I had a car, I had my family to help me, like everything that I needed, I had someone. Yes, Chandler. Everything in Brazil, I had someone to help me. Like, if I needed to assemble something, if I needed help with anything, I had my dad. I didn't feel lonely about anything. And here was like all the time. I vividly remember one day, like, it was summer and I had to buy an AC. They delivered my AC downstairs and I had to carry that thing. I don't even know how heavy it was. I just know it was heavy, like heavy. People were coming up and down the stairs and no one offered to help me. And this is crazy because like I know in Brazil people would offer to help me. I don't know if it was like in that specific building because I don't want to judge based on my experience. It was just that no one literally offered to help me, and I carried that thing up the stairs by myself. I was overweight. It was like really heavy on me. When I got to my apartment, I was like, I felt accomplished, and at the same time I remember the feeling of like I never felt so lonely in my whole life. I was like, this is crazy. That feeling was like weighing on me. And the thing is, my roommates never offered anything to like I remember, I'm not trying to like pass to you that I was like, oh my god, I'm such a great person that like I would offer things all the time, but I am someone that I always try to offer my help to people. But my roommates never offered to help me with anything. I had a great relationship with one of my roommates. We were not close whatsoever, but the other one, we had an awful relationship. She was very rude to me, to be honest. I remember we did not have a good relationship, and living in that situation weighed on me really heavily because you're home, you want to be in peace, and I did not feel at peace because it's not like, okay, you don't have a great relationship, that's fine, but every time I ran into her, it would be like, you know, bad. Can we at least smile to each other or like have a good encounter with each other when we're, you know, like it would be heavy at home. So those things would be like weighing on me. My brain didn't have time to process those things, and this will all be in the first year. I feel like the first year for most people living here is always the hardest because you're trying to adapt, you know, you're trying to like just push through it and get to a point where you're like, okay, this is my home now. To me, it was being the hardest because I was like, I don't feel at home here. I'm at my place, but I don't feel like I'm welcomed. Or the thing is, me as a roommate, I always feel like I give grace to people, like if they don't have time to wash the dishes or they don't clean at the same time that they make a mess, like I'm fine with like doing that, but I was never offered the same grace. And it's, you know, like I feel like when you're living together, you need to be a little bit flexible if you want to have a good relationship. But yeah, I'm just like giving you guys a little bit of my perspective. I'm sure things that bother people, but I'm just giving my perspective of what was weighing on me at the time that was making me feel sad at the time. Not only I had a bad situation at home, I did meet a few people. I was trying to like make friends outside. I was not someone that like I would settle, because I know some people have a hard time making friends. They don't go out as much, they don't really try because it's hard. If you're someone, I would say I'm an ambivert, but I do try. Like I would go out by myself, I would try to go out and make friends, but I met some people at the time that were very toxic, or maybe because I was also not in the best place mentally. I would drop the friendship very fast because, to be honest, I'm also like in a place in my life where if you're being demanding too much from me, I'm not gonna be, maybe I'm wrong about that, but if you're demanding too much from me as a friend, honestly not gonna want to be friends with you. And I encounter some of those in my way in New York, you know? So I was not maintaining a lot of friends here, and maybe that's a little bit of my fault. I don't know. I just the people that I met didn't stick as friends for me. So again, I was lonely. I didn't meet any friend that I was like, yeah, my bestie, my friend. Anyway, as an immigrant, you always feel like there's a door that is closing at your face. When you feel like you're gonna find, when you come here, you think there's a lot of opportunities, but because you can't work, you can't do much, and I want to do things right, it's complicated. Because when I would think that I could get a scholarship, it wasn't allowed for me because I'm an immigrant, or I'm an F1 visa. So a lot of doors would close, and that would frustrate me. So again, I came with a lot of hopes and dreams, and that the first year, because I didn't know much, it weighed heavily on me. I was like, I don't even know how to explain how I felt, but I felt defeated. So around September, I met someone online. It was a girl, and we got like super close super fast, and she was telling me that she was moving to New York, and I was like, wow, that's great. I finally have a bestie, we're gonna move in together. And then we find the situation where, okay, we can move in, but when we actually move in, things were not so great.
Literally horror story.
I'm not gonna go like too much into detail because I feel like mostly it was our personalities did not mesh well living together. It was just not good at all. And at home, I don't think I've ever felt this bad. I never felt this uncomfortable at home. I felt really bad. And the thing is, because she was the only person I knew, and I was like, this is finally gonna be my friend, and it didn't happen. I was like, okay, I'm lonely. I have no one. I have no one.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It was a feeling that hit me so hard that in November, I hit my breaking point. I was like, I did not want to leave my house. I did not want to do anything. I didn't want to. Like, I was eating crazy. I did not want to cook. I did not want to do anything. So that was when I was like, yeah, this is like depression, literally, because I've been depressed before. I knew exactly what I was going through, you know? The worst thing was like feeling guilty because I was in my favorite city in the world. I was living a dream that I dreamed for so long, and I was not enjoying. I was miserable. I was not doing everything that I should be doing. A whole investment was done for me to be here, and I was doing nothing. You know, I was home. I was like sleeping most of the time. I was going to class, but then I think the guilt was one of the worst things that I felt, and it was like making it worse because I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. I've always done therapy, and when I finally realized what I was going through at the time, I began therapy again. I never stopped therapy. I just wasn't going regularly like I once did, but that's because I have such a good relationship with my therapist. I just start back again when I need more help, and I started back again with her, and we started talking, and we have more, hey, what are we gonna do about this? Because one thing about me, I'm scrappy. I'm like very determined. I don't like to be in one place. I don't like to be depressed. I know it's not something that you can't fight. Some people just can't control it. I just thought honestly over it. I did therapy. I got back up, and I started like looking for exercises. I started doing exercises again. Eventually, I remember I found a church, and going to church, I found a group of friends, and that was when I started to like finding myself back again, finding me. I know this is like a very resumed version of how I got back up, but what I can tell you is if you're going through this right now, the best thing you can do is one, therapy. Literally, it took me a while, to be honest. Like I'm telling you a very small portion of how I got back to like me now and being happy and being peaceful, finding my community and finding a support system, which I didn't have when I came here, and that's really hard not to have when you're in a new city. But you're gonna don't feel like this is forever. You're never gonna find anyone. You're never gonna feel like yourself again. That's not true. I highly recommend trying to find a therapist. There's a lot of options right now on therapists online, BetterHelp. Find a hobby, things that you love to do, and try to go at least once a week. And being consistent on a routine helps me so much to stay grounded and to find who you are and not lose yourself, even in a new city, in a fast-paced city like New York. There are many things that I can still say about this, but I only got out around, I don't know, I think March, May, I don't know. It took me months to get out of where I was, but it took me like a lot of strength and wanting to. Eventually I did. I just wanted to get this out to maybe help, because I know a lot of people will go through the same as I did. So yeah, I hope this somewhat helps someone, and if this is your dream, don't give up on it. New York is an amazing city. There's so much to do here, and you're gonna find this back again, this love for it, even though you're going through whatever you're going through. But yeah, if you like this video and you want more sit downs or want me to talk about anything else related to New York, let me know down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I see you in my next video. Bye.